Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Bit of a more serious video today. Okay. I just found this video on YouTube, titled VR Chat Furry Diagnoses Us with DID. There is a lot to pack with this video. It is 23 minutes, and in the video, in the description, it says, please do not reach out to the people featured in my videos. I do not condone witch hunts. Okay. For YouTube staff, this is a documentary-style video made to raise awareness about the odd people in VR chat with comedic undertones. Don't strike me again, please. Okay. In the pinned comment, the creator says, "Hey guys, if you know/ever meet the guy in this video, please be kind, LOL. They were actually really sweet and kept on trying to check back in after this was recorded. However, I didn't want to upload this because 1, it's fucking funny. 2, a lot of people always ask, why do so many people in this game have DID? And I genuinely think interactions like this are why you see so many. One person will have it and friends and the people around them kind of like convince each other they have it. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Ahaha, and go follow Waffles. She's the other girl in this video." Waffles is the person in the video that supposedly has DID. So, breaking down this video. Basically, these two people went into VR chat and came across someone who was talking about their experience with DID. And automatically they were like, oh yeah, my friend had an experience and I don't know if they have DID. And this person was like, okay, do you want to talk about it more of your experience, etc. They then proceed to then like break down like what happened when your friend like switched, or what happened when your friend like started acting differently than they normally would. And like at first, like it genuinely felt like he was trying to explain it to them in the best way possible. But then it starts to go downhill very fast. The YouTuber, the one recording the video, starts literally laughing like nonstop throughout. And I'm just sitting here like, they're literally making a joke. Like they're making a joke out of him. Like if the guy was doing this to be funny or, you know, to spread awareness, and they asked him to like, you know, come and spread awareness about it, like about the people who genuinely fake having DID for fun. Like people fake it for fun because they think it's funny or they want to make fun of people who have it. For example, Waffles in this video. And it genuinely pisses me off. As someone who has been fake claimed so many times for talking about my experiences with the disorder and talking about our system in general, and people will just like come after us for like the smallest things, like you can't switch this fast, or you can't have this many alters, or this is not a term, and blah blah blah. Yeah, so many times we have been fake claimed. This is just, oh my god. So I'm gonna watch again, I won't watch all of it, but if you guys can hear stuff in the background, I will pause throughout and explain a bit more. So let's get started this.
I am saying I have a special interest on DID. I do not have DID. It is age regression.
I've never really met anyone who like does age regression like that besides having a little.
Basically, I have all...
Okay. Pause right there because there is a difference. the person that starts talking about age regression is not the person that I'm referring to. The one that's talking about I've never heard of age regression like that. That's the one that supposedly has DID, allegedly. I'm not going to fake claim here. So they are talking about I haven't heard of anything like that besides having a little. We're going to dive into terms here. So age regression is a trauma response. A lot of people who age regress do it as a way to basically get away from the life that they're living. It is a mental response in which mentally you become that of a child. Not physically, but mentally. I age regress. I'm an age regressor. Me, Luna, hi. I regress from my age of 24 down to at least like 4 or 5 years old. When I'm in little space, all I want to do is I want to just be wrapped in my blanket, hold my stuffies, and do nothing but watch cartoons and play video games. Because I cannot deal with the real life, with the real life world. Like, it is a genuine thing. Little space, again, is basically after you've age regressed, you enter little space. Again, the place that I go down to. Littles are not age regressing. They're not, like, the term littles itself refers to alters that are children, child alters. They are not necessarily age regressors. I don't know if alters in other systems refer to themselves as littles when they age regress. They can. I mean, I refer to myself as I enter little space. I don't call myself a little. Because I don't consider that. For me personally, I don't consider it. But if you consider it, like if you're a system and you consider it, I mean, that's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna judge you for it. Because systems use terms differently. In this case, littles are referring to child alters. Alters that are literally children. Some littles have the maturity of children. Some littles have the maturity of adults, but internally, they're literally a child. Like, they're how they look. So that's a little term that's a term that I want to kind of, explain a bit more. Let's get back to this.
Like the same, I'll like the same memories and stuff as I do as myself right now. But I have a different personality. I have less motor abilities, less speak abilities, depending on the age. I can go from 2 years old to 10.
Yeah.
It's very wide, but all my adult memories go away. Like, I have all of my memories except my adult ones.
Okay, so here's what I'll say about that. When that person regresses, they have all of the memories that they've experienced as themselves, because they said that they don't have DID. They're one person and one identity. But when they regress, their adult memories go away. Like, this one's a bit kind of confusing, because when I regress, I have all of my memories, including my adult memories. I just don't deal with real life. If I'm struggling and I need a break from life and the trauma that I've been processing, and usually this happens after therapy, I will regress, meaning that I will become small and not do what I would typically do. I have those memories, I just don't think about them. So I don't know if that's what they were referring to, but unless you actually genuinely are able to suppress those memories, or you have DID, you will remember things. Like, you have memories. I don't know. I'm just gonna continue.
How that works? I don't think that's how that works. Did someone in here say something about age regression or DID or something?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Me and my new friend.
Wait, do you guys have that? Like, do you guys have
I age regress. I age regress, and he has DID with littles.
Oh, okay. So like your alters are littles.
I just go to a different mindset. It's different for me. Like, I have all my memories. Like,
this is where they get the idea to interview him or ask questions about their experiences with the disorder.
Like, I know who I am, blah blah blah, but like all my like adult memories like related to doing and stuff like that are all gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you have the ID? Is that what you were saying?
I actually don't know.
Could
Do you
you
want to
tell?
talk about the ID? Is that
Genuinely asking here, do you have DID? Do you want to talk about it? Like, are you confused? Like, do you not know? Like, do you want to figure out if you do have it? Genuinely trying to be nice here.
Yes. See if we can diagnose you. Can we go somewhere there's less people? I can't talk
be
over
totally
people
down for
too.
that.
I want to
Yeah,
listen.
go wherever. Yeah. What do you want to know?
Oh, I think I could give a little bit of background
Very good,
because I'm her friend. There's like this one date where she hopped on and she seemed to have like no recollection of anything. Like we had been friends for a while and she just like didn't like know who I was, and she was like talking a little bit differently. And ever since then, we're kind of just like iffy on. Like, we don't know what happened that one day. Yeah, that was the one day. Yeah, I remember you told me about that. Can you explain like what DID is, maybe?
Okay, coming up with like a believable story, and to get him to open up a bit more about what DID is, asking, can you explain what DID is, etc.
What goes on?
So let's talk less about DID, more about the entire idea of plurality. Plurality is just the idea that you are a body with multiple personalities, multiple identities, multiple conscience, multiple people in some way, shape, or form in one body.
Okay. The essence of plurality, yes. This one can be a bit of an iffy subject here, because I've had many like debates, like conversations with people who will argue that DID is not the only way to be plural. The plural community, when we talk about being plural, we talk about being a system. That's what plurality is again, having multiple identities in one body. But there are people that will go beyond being a system and claim to be plural when they don't meet the requirements, the trauma requirements, in order to be plural. This is really frustrating, like super, super frustrating. People have said that, I'm plural, but I'm not a system. Or I'm plural, but I don't have DID or OSDD. Okay? And then they proceed to tell me like that there are many people out there that will identify as certain things. And this is where I'm going to really, that I might start pissing people off. And honestly, I really don't care, because of how insensitive that these terms can be and how people identify with these terms can be. So, many people will identify as endogenic. They will refer to themselves as an endogenic system. So, what endogenic means is that if you hear someone say that they are an endogenic system, they basically are saying that they are a system, but they don't have trauma. Scientifically, that is physically impossible. You cannot be a system without the required trauma. That's literally how it works. The trauma that one experiences when they were younger literally will cause the developing identity to not form correctly. They will have, in some cases, such as DID, for example, the DID-OSDD, the only two, the identity will be split. It will form as multiple because the brain is literally breaking it down making sure that the body and the mind is protected from the trauma that people have been inflicting on, that the body has been going through. That is why a lot of people who've had trauma don't remember specific moments, because the brain literally shuts those memories off. And for people who have DID and OSDD or other specified dissociative disorder, so similar to DID but doesn't meet the full requirements, those people will not remember those events except for certain alters. The type of alter that remembers those memories, they're called trauma holders. Other alters can have those memories too, but mostly specifically the trauma holders are the ones that hold on to those traumatic memories. Hence the term, hence the role. Another term that I'm going to introduce in the concept of plurality is willogenic. Now, willogenic are people who like to try out being a system because they want to see what it's like. They don't have the trauma. They just say, oh, I'm a system because, or like, I'm specifically willogenic because I want to know what it's like. You do not want to know what it is like to have this. The fact that the amount of trauma that we've experienced leading up to our diagnosis, leading up to the very first split when we were 9, so much pain and suffering that we have gone through and we still continue to go through to this very day, like of recording this video. It has been a very stressful journey. We do not want this. So I cannot imagine people wanting to try out being a system. I am more willing to support endos, I know it's really risky, than willows. I do not support willogenic systems, for the sole reason that they want to see what it's like. If you want to know what it is like for systems, or if you want to know what it's like to be a system, talk to the people who genuinely have DID and OSDD. Talk to us. Don't relate to us. Understand us. But don't act like you are a system if you do not have the trauma requirements. Now, going back to endos here, the reason why I said I'm more likely to leaning towards supporting endos versus willows, I don't really support endogenic systems for the sole reason that they genuinely believe that they don't have any trauma. Now, here's what I will say about this. I do believe that endogenic systems are systems. They just simply don't remember their trauma. If they have the trauma requirement, there you go. If they don't remember it, that's fine. But claiming that you don't have trauma and you are a system is very harmful to the rest of the system and plural community. It's so frustrating because when you say that you don't have trauma but you're a system, you're basically like telling people that for us, you're basically saying that our trauma doesn't count or wasn't valid or isn't real. That's what it's saying. So I urge you guys, if you genuinely want to know what it's like to be a system, talk to us. If you're an endogenic system, I recommend actually learning to see if you do have that trauma requirement and you don't remember. Talk to a therapist. But please do not claim to be a system or be plural if you do not have the trauma requirement. The last term I'm gonna say before I resume with the video is people have gone after me for saying that saying that tulpas are not a valid thing for being plural. Tulpa's referring to tulpamancy, which is a close practiced in many indigenous cultures. Now, there are other religions that do practice tulpamancy, but this is where things get difficult. So the idea of tulpamancy is that you have multiple souls in one body. You create tulpas, like you create them. That's fine. It's a religious practice that if you are part of that culture and you are able to practice that religion, I'm fine with that. But again, we ask that you stay out of system spaces. You want to claim yourself plural? Fine. But that's where things get difficult, because a lot of tulpas will insert themselves in the system community seeking for validation when they don't have the trauma requirement. Now, can someone be a system with trauma and experience tulpamancy? I don't know. I'm not indigenous. I don't claim to be part of that culture, nor do I claim to be part of that religion or claim to practice it. I don't. But yes, those are mostly the three terms of plural that people claim are plural, when in reality, when we talk about plurality, we're talking about being systems. That's what we're referred to. Anyways, let's get back to the cringeworthy video.
The idea is a specific diagnosis that is under the umbrella of plurality, but plurality can summon in a whole lot of different ways that are all completely valid.
I'm not going to say anything about that because I literally just went on like a 10-minute tangent.
And DID is different for basically everybody. Like, I myself am a system of 16, and we can access memories through each other. We have no ability to visualize we don't naturally visualize a space in which we live in. We're able to talk to each other in our head. There's people, like I know a system of 4 who have no communication with each other and are completely have to leave notes for each other in order to talk at all. I also know a system who were able to have a visual like space that they all existed in their mind. So it can show up completely different for everybody. Can you tell me a bit more about what happened?
Okay. Good key points here. When he talks about how DID is different for everybody, so everyone who has DID they're not going to have the same experiences. Every system is different. How it works for many people, how it works for us. I'm gonna talk about us for a moment. So we are a system, we are polyfragmented, and we are more on the larger scale. We have over 100 altars. I know, it's a lot. Now, it's not really a typical thing to have 100 altars, but because we are polyfragmented, and we are also neurodivergent, we have a tendency to form many altars just out of the blue alongside our trauma. Altars can form at any time. Like once you have that first initial split, once you develop DID and OSDD, altars can form whenever. You have that trauma requirement though. That's the main thing. We had our very first split at 9, or at least that's the earliest I can remember. Because before that, I don't remember anyone showing up until after my initial my biggest trauma yet, where my brain said, okay, that's it, enough is enough. Boom. And created the very first altar that I was aware of. With the DID thing is that people with DID have amnesia, meaning that they don't remember specific things. Because, for example, so the altar that you are currently speaking to is the host. Hi, I'm Luna. I've had this channel since 2014, 2015. I've had this channel for about 10 years now. When I am fronting, I can see and hear everything. I am currently talking to you. I'm sitting down in front of the camera speaking to you guys. If I were to switch out with someone, if I am not co-fronting or sitting, in, for example, in the passenger seat of the car, the front seat of the car and the passenger side. If I am not co-fronting or co-conscious with said alter, I will be in the back of my mind and will be unaware of what is happening around me until I either front again, co-front, or said alter who was fronting switches out and then tells me what happened. That's the communication that they're talking about. So their system has the communication with each other. They have the internal communication where they can tell each other what's happening and share memories. Other systems don't have that. But regardless, they are still a system. So every system is different.
Yeah. It was kind of, I don't remember what day it was a couple weeks ago. But she got on and she was talking like, not too different, but just like a little lower pitch than what she usually does. And then she had changed avatar to, she doesn't like typically wear like furry avatars, but she had like changed into a furry avatar. And then she ended up leaving. And then the next day I asked her about it and she was kind of back to her normal self. And she said she didn't remember it.
So when you try to remember that time, do you remember anything, or was it like as if you were asleep and you just don't have any recollection?
It's like a blur, like I don't even remember it happening, you know? Like that's
So,
sleeping.
but is it
just
like
because I'm cold.
dead, or is it like just blurry?
no, like it feels like it never happened.
When you try to remember that day, what do you remember doing?
I don't even I remember
There's no
like
memories of the
eating
day?
I remember
Okay,
eating
eating.
something, yeah, and then taking a nap and then waking up the next day. Yeah.
Right, okay.
It was like a really long nap.
To people that would watch this video and genuinely think that she's explaining, or they're explaining an experience they had that genuinely was confusing, and then their friend starts giggling, it's the giggling that really solidified that they weren't, that they were not being serious here, that they were literally making fun of people with DID. And I think this point of this whole video was to call out the people who genuinely fake DID on VR chat. So I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of people that will say they have this disorder and then proceed to, like stretch it, and a lot of people will fake it because they do it for fun or they want the attention. Or they're genuinely making fun of the disorder. That's what these people are doing. They're making fun of the disorder. This entire video is just this person who is genuinely trying to figure out and help these people because he believes that this person has DID. When in reality, they don't. I'm usually not someone that will go after fakers. I'm against fake claiming in general. However, if you are faking a disorder because you think it's funny and you're making fun of people who have this disorder and are suffering and struggling with it every day, I will call you out on your bullshit. I will. And that's what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay. This gets pretty crazy. This gets really ridiculous to watch. So I'm just going to kind of skip forward a little bit to a few other things.
No one's ever taught me that.
I have multiple personalities in my head. I think you might too.
A personality.
It's okay.
Can you explain? Because I don't get it.
You do get it. You're just doing this for attention and for clout.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Nope.
I'm out of metaphors. Okay, let's say this is literally, as long as they follow us, we're making good progress.
Yeah, I'm surprised that worked.
I need you to follow me. Good thing this place has a video player.
Inhale.
complete memory block. You only felt the presence and then you switched, right?
Yeah, I didn't feel
Okay.
anything.
Okay.
Everything went dark.
Everything went dark. And
which is typical of a switch. How we experience switches is if we start to feel really dissociated and we have no idea what's going on, everything will start to feel blurry or staticky. That's the best way I can describe it. And then the next thing I know, everything goes dark and then I'm back inside. I have no idea who comes forward unless I'm co-conscious with them, or people tell me after I switch back who fronted and what they said and did. Again, usually happens in our therapy sessions or just happens in general. As I'm saying this, I'm like struggling to talk because I'm dissociating, but I'm also like really angry and really pissed about this because guys, this is not okay. This is a struggle. So while that's the typical idea of a switch, a lot of the time, like in some cases, switches will happen like that and you won't even realize that you've switched until after it happens. Like switches can be quick or they can be long. It all really depends on the person and the system.
then you just woke up when you switched back. Waffles, we know that you have an alter. Her name is Mary and she's 27. She seems pretty sociable and friendly and she doesn't mean any harm. Do you have like a pen and paper or do you have like a notepad app or anything you can write on?
I have a notes app.
This is my first time dealing with like introducing like a system that has complete memory blockage, so I'm kind of,
Yeah.
write a message.
He's
that you
really
want Mary to
trying
see.
here.
What would you want to say to Mary?
Who the hell are you and why are you in my head?
No. You're walking around or anything. Do you hear it through the mic? Okay, I'm glad. Do you know who we are? Do you have any So they asked me to help them.
Okay, this is where things start really to go downhill, and this is where another part where I really got pissed because of specific terms that they used.
To figure out what's going on with that, and I did. And so we're kind of awakening that right now.
Do you know who I am?
Do you want to tell us who you are?
That sounds so wonderful.
What? Okay, I'm glad. Do you know who we are? Do you have a memory of us?
No. I don't know who either of you are.
Would you like to introduce yourself? Muffin, want to introduce yourself?
The laughing, it's not genuine laughing. It's full on, I'm laughing because this is so fucking funny and we're gonna continue to be assholes and make fun of people who have this disorder.
Oh,
Because I introduced myself.
I'm Muffin. I'm your friend. We've known each a couple months
Yeah,
now.
we are not friends.
Or friends with the other.
No
The
idea
other.
who you are.
Yeah, you're not friends with them. You're friends with the other people in there. The other person.
Yeah, I'm
Waffles.
friends with the
Do you have a name?
Waffles.
I do have a name.
What is
I'd
it?
like to know it.
Don't
My name's
think you
pretty
want
silly.
to know.
My name's pretty silly. Okay, my guys, I will talk guys in my head. I have some pretty silly names, so no judgment.
Well, my name is more sinister.
One of my guys, I'm only named after a function in C. I have a guy who's named after a tarot card.
I don't think you can say my name without getting,
Is it
cursed.
Beetlejuice?
No,
Bloody Mary?
no.
Saint?
Going off a little bit of that, we have a Lucifer Morningstar, the Lucifer from Hazbin Hotel. We have a fictive of him. We also have a fictive of Beetlejuice, specifically Alex Brightman's Beetlejuice from the musical. So that's kind of laughable for us because we can relate to having like two alters that are based off of said names. But this is not what's happening with her.
I'm out of
Listen.
ideas. I'm fine saying
Stop
it.
with the laughing, please.
And I care more about you. You're good.
Lucifer?
I know.
That's a good one.
Close enough. Yeah, pretty close, actually.
Lucy?
No,
Darn, that would have been good.
What is it then?
That's a good name.
I'll let you find out.
How? You're the only one who knows. Maybe I should have said that. Yeah, this happened to me. As soon as I split, I was like 4 and then 6 and then 8.
Referring to the childhood trauma. He was a kid when he had his first split that he can recall. 4 years old is the youngest. Childhood trauma, y'all. That's the requirement.
I have no idea how much it's going to go on for, but just figure it out. Lucifer, are you still with us?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Still here.
Oh, okay.
So you're like
How
1,000?
old are you?
Last time I checked,
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think we got an idea. I think we've got an idea. I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. I feel pretty confident.
Sure you do.
I don't know.
Real confident right now, don't you?
Well, I feel confident knowing that you are part of a DID system.
No, she's not. She's making fun of you. She's literally making fun of you, and you have no idea that that's what's happening.
Or some sort of plural system.
I thought he was gonna say we were trolling.
You've got a lot of balls saying that.
I watched you switch. Okay,
I'm
well,
sorry.
that's pretty accusatory.
We
Let
did
me.
see it.
Don't you explain further?
I don't think you need to explain anything.
Okay. What do you want to do right now?
I want to hurt someone real bad.
Okay.
Like really badly. Badly.
Time out here, because this is what they're doing. They are going off of the trope that DID is evil. That people with DID want to hurt people and not realize that they want to hurt people. They're going off of the movie trope of Split. And for those that are fortunate to not know what Split is, I'm going to ruin that and tell you what the movie is about. So Split is a horror movie that came out in 2017 that stars James McAvoy, Anya Taylor-Joy, Joey Keenan, I can't remember who the other person is. The main antagonist, played by James McAvoy, who also played Professor X in the new X-Men movies. I prefer Professor X over this. He plays a character named Kevin. The issue here is that Kevin has DID, multiple identities, 25 distinct alters. And one of his alters, Dennis, decides it would be a great idea to kidnap 3 innocent girls and hold them hostage. While they're being held hostage, their caretaker, Patricia, tells them, like, I'm so sorry that this has happened, but unfortunately we can't let you go. These 24 distinct alters, and the 25th altar is known as the Beast. It's ridiculous, and I can't help but laugh at it, because what this Beast is that he's like this monstrous creature that has like immense amount of strength and can crawl on walls. There's literally a scene where the Beast fronts and starts crawling up the walls, because apparently us people with DID can start crawling up of walls and have immense amount of strength. I don't fucking know. But because of movies like Split, people have seen DID as we have evil alters. We have alters that want to hurt people. And that's just so not true. There are alters in the system that have and can do harm, but not because we're evil. Because they feel like that is the only way to get their point across and their way of protecting. Those alters are called persecutors. We love and respect every single persecutor out there. If you're a system and you have persecutors, show them respect, because they're human, or human body. They have feelings, they have emotions too. And they're very much real, and they should be respected. When I see videos like this, where people are genuinely making fun of DID and proceeding to say, oh, I have an evil alter, it's gonna hurt you, he wants you, dead, etc. It's extremely stressful and very painful to watch, and it's hurtful. We're someone that is a very big advocate for our communities. Mental health is so important to us. to other systems out there that feel scared or they've had negative experiences such like this, we want you to know that we see you and we hear you, and your system is valid. But because we have been an advocate on social media, we have had people come to us telling us that they're a system and then proceed to say, hold on, I'm switching. No, my evil alter. And then we'll say, I hate you, etc. Like, there can be very obvious signs like that. However, you cannot always tell when someone is faking. That is why we genuinely believe every single system until they give us a reason not to. And sometimes it's the obvious signs like this where people are doing this to be hurtful. And it's not okay. It's not a good look. A lot of more stuff that goes into it where he switches out with one of his persecutors, refers to it as evil. So this is the comment that I made. I don't care if this was a documentary style of calling out fakers in VR chat. This genuinely felt like you were making fun of systems. I know that you made a comment saying the guy was really sweet and he genuinely was trying to be helpful, but you literally made a joke out of them because that's what they did. That's what we're getting at here. The amount of fake claimers I've seen for DID is just fucked up in my opinion. It's true. This is where I begin to explain a bit more. Dissociative identity disorder, DID, is a trauma-based condition that forms in childhood from repetitive childhood trauma. You can't get it past the age of 10, typically. For people who are neurodivergent, there has been evidence that people who are neurodivergent have developed DID past the age of 10 up to the age of 11 because their brains are wired differently. Don't believe me, you can look it up. In order for you to develop this, you have to have gone through intense trauma to the point where your brain literally splits the developing identity into multiple parts/fragments. That's where the plurality comes into play. Those individual parts are called alters. They are not personalities, but some systems refer to themselves as such, which is fine if they want to say that, but in medical terms, they're identities. It's formerly known as multiple personality disorder because people back then thought DID was a personality thing. It's an identity thing. Each identity can have its own name, age, gender, sexuality, etc., but what really isn't okay is the fact that you began demonizing them. Alters are not evil. Yes, there are some alters that will do harmful things to the body, but we refer to those alters as persecutors. Persecutors are valid. Sometimes we refer to persecutors as misguided protectors because they are protectors, they just don't know how to protect the body in a safe way. Again, it's not technically their fault. It's the trauma that causes them to form in the first place. They act that way. For persecutors to form, they will form in the most traumatizing situations systems go through. They act that way because that's the only way they know how to protect. We don't call them evil as it's very offensive. So many people like to demonize us because they think we're possessed. So referring to the alters as evil is not okay. Again, I don't know if you made this as a joke, but to me it wasn't funny. Get a fucking life. With that being said, this person has 27,000 subscribers. Oh, look at that. Just a girl who makes fun of people on VR chat. Yes, you clearly do make fun of people. And it's not okay. Catching a VR chat DID faker, exposing insane VR chat DID fakers. VR chat DID furry gets caught faking. I don't know what exactly, why people think that this is okay, but it's not okay. Like, it's not okay to make fun of someone for a disorder that they have and they can't control.
I thought he was gonna.
Oh God.
Okay. Just like, there is no necessarily, like, there's no like way for me to hide a channel, so okay. There's not really a way for me to block, unfortunately. I don't even know, man. I can report the video, harassment and bullying. Thanks for that. Okay. Okay. With that being said, I feel like I've had enough reaction of fake claimers. But yeah. So to end this video, yes, I was diagnosed with DID in 2023. I won't go into my trauma because it's not something that I like to talk about. I'm working on it. We're in therapy. We literally meet with a therapist 2 times a week. Like, we're in EMDR, and then we have our regular therapy sessions on Fridays. If you want us to do a dive into like terms, etc., we can do so. If this YouTuber finds this video and wants to proceed to make fun of us, fine. I really don't give a fuck, but just know that you guys really need to stop harassing and attacking people, because it's people like that, the fake claimers, that make it so difficult for people who have DID and OSDD, who actually have it, to make content about it, because the fake claimers will see videos like this and will start attacking and assuming that every system out there is fake. We do not owe you proof. We do not need to show you any diagnosis. We have a diagnosis, but we're not going to post it because it's personal and private information. We can dive into the spiral of fake claimers, etc., but keep this in mind. But let me keep this in mind here. If you want to attack systems, fine. However, you are a terrible person for doing so. If you suspect someone is faking, do not call them out on it unless they are faking because they think it's funny, they're doing it for attention, and they're doing it to make fun of people who actually have said disorder. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for sticking with me with this. I know it's a longer video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.